Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers.
And I'm the captain.
And we are at Andertons.
We certainly are.
Back on home turf today, and we have some very exciting shizzle to demonstrate for you from Oranje amplifiers.
Orange. I wanted to demo these a little bit earlier on in the year, but the first shipment that came into the UK was very small and it sold very fast. So we've had to wait until August to get our hands on one to do a demo.
And now that we have,
yes,
it's absolutely worth the wait.
Yes, and we're going to do the best demo that you've ever seen on YouTube ever of a Dark Terror amplifier.
Stick, our main man at Maplewood Studio, doing the audio for us today, as always. He's going to make sure that when we turn it down quiet, it's going to sound quiet to you, so you get kind of a relative perspective of how the audio and the volume drops and raises. So if you turn this at a certain point and it's kind of quiet, that's because the amplifier's set quiet. I think the first thing we should do is dispel the myth of fizziness and muddiness. I think there were a few demonstrations from the NARM show where, of course, you got all the outside sound bleeding through on the mic, camera mic only stuff, and they didn't. You're very restricted with the volume levels at trade shows, and so people had it set with a super low volume and lots of preamp gain to try and show the fact that it's got gain, and what you got was slightly fizzy, muddy demonstrations. It isn't a fizzy, muddy amplifier. No. It's really not.
It sounds amazing. This is kind of a little bit like the original Tiny Terror. What Orange have done is revoiced the preamp stage, put an extra ECC 83 tube in there, which obviously gives you, we've gone from 2 to 3 ECC 83s now in this. Powered the same as before with 2 EL84 tubes, and again, forget anything you might have read about EL84 sounding fizzy. It's not the case.
The valves have sort of very little to do with that kind of tonality and distortion. It's all about the preamp.
It's typically speaking, EL84s will be used in lower wattage amplifiers because they produce a lower output than the 6L6s or 34s. What we noticed setting this up, and we'll get straight into some playing, is that actually the mistake you can make with this is to go max out the gain and roll the volume all the way off. And then all you're doing is you're getting that kind of lots of quite harsh preamp gain, but without that sort of goodness of the power tubes really opening up. So what we've done, our best sound that we've got here, is actually with the gain and the volume both really just over halfway.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I used to do a lot of work with Orange, as probably most of you here know, and I went to the headquarters and spoke to Adrian Elmsley, the designer, a lot when he was working on amps, and during the inception of the Tiny Terror sort of phase, and watching him work with the Tiny Terror was like this. All the volume, and then he would just adjust it to suit afterwards. So he just started with all the volume, giving you all the power amp, crunch and warmth before you add in the preamp gain. And that's the way you work this amp to make it sound the way you want it to.
The good news in this video is there's very little to tell you about the amplifier, so you're just going to hear lots of guitar playing. Basically, the last couple of bits, we've got an effects loop on the back of here, so I'm running a TC Hall of Fame reverb pedal through it. We've got 2 output modes. We've got a 15 watt and a 7 watt mode.
The only real reason for that is to give you more headroom if you want to have a kind of clean sound on the 15 watt setting. But why you'd want a clean sound is beyond me.
Well, can you gig it? Yes,
you can.
You can gig this. You'd need it on the 15-watt mode, and of course, you're not going to buy this if you're in like a sort of a bluesy type band. You know, you'd be far better suited with the original Tiny Terror.
Although you could do.
Yeah.
I reckon you could set it super, super deaf,
Okay.
and then back off the volume, and you would get high gain, regular Tiny Terror type setting.
Got this running through a regular orange open back 212 cabinet. Oh, and it comes in a really lovely little pouch as well. I've left it over here. Let me just...
Get the box as well, because the box is really exciting. You know, you get like box day, new box day, gear day. Look at that. How would you like to open a box like this?
Dark Terror. If you order one of these from Andertons and you phone up to place your order, you're only allowed to ask for an orange Dark Terror. It's a nice bag that it comes with.
Well, there's a shoulder strap.
Lead. Oh, a shoulder strap and a mains
Yeah.
lead. And a speaker lead, or is that just two mains leads? Two mains leads, depending on what country you live in.
One of them can be used as a flail weapon in case someone tries to steal it from you just after you've purchased it.
No channel switching, so again, if you want to go between a sort of a lower and a higher gain sound,
You do it
just
traditionally.
Use,
That's
on
what
the volume.
You do.
On your
I
guitar.
mean, I have to say, I think the Terror series is probably one of the best amplifier series ever for the guy that lives in London or a city anywhere and wants to run around gigging, because most venues have a cab for you to use. You can have a Tiny Terror on one hand and you can have a guitar over your shoulder, and you can just walk into the venue, fight the women away, and then plug in.
Yeah, fair play to Orange on this one. They did, with the Tiny Terror, they did kind of start that lunchbox type guitar. I mean, I know lots of other brands do one now, but you know, these guys...
They kicked it off.
Yeah, they kicked it off,
Yeah,
and
they
fair
did.
play.
As well as this Oranje Dark Terror, we also have an LTD ESP Snakebite. I knew it was called Snakebite, Lee. And
Which
does
actually,
that.
if you tune back to another video later, this is the Hetfield signature. A little plug for another video we're doing. This has got the regular EMGs that the Snakebite comes with, but we've got a Het set that we're going to fit to this later. And
Pablo's
compare
going
the
to
difference.
craft away and
He
wire
is.
in some hetty goodness.
So go
isn't
look
he?
for that video once you've watched this, because that'd be fun.
So how much is this?
C'est combien
C'est
pour
combien
l'orange?
pour l'orange
Terre de
amplificateur?
Noir.
Terre de Noir.
These currently sell for less than £400 and are available from your favourite guitar shop.
Where's that, Lee?
Andertons. It's in Guildford and it's called Andertons. And if you go to Google
Guildfordshire.
and go Andertons, you'll find us. Yes, these are in stock now, hopefully. Well, they're in stock today. Hopefully in stock for the rest of the foreseeable future.
I reckon an awesome rig would be one of these, and a regular hand-wired Terror maybe, and an ABY box, and a 4x12 split.
Yeah, it would
You've
be
got
good.
some
And
wicked tones.
If there was a Star Wars band, Luke Skywalker would have the Tiny Terror, wouldn't he? And Darth Vader would have the Dark Terror, and there'd be a whole battle of something. Just like shooting swamp rats in something or other.
My T60 back home.
15-watt mode, gain and volume and shape, all just over the halfway mark. Seven-watt mode, volume, shape and gain just above the halfway mark. bedroom level mode now, 7-watt mode, volume pretty much all the way down, gain about 3/4 of the way up, and shape about 3/4 of the way up.
And this should sound quiet to you. £15 bedroom level with the gain mostly all the way up and not a lot of volume and the tone all the way up. First of all, we're just going to play crazy shit with all the volume, all the gain and most of the tonality in there, the Oranje Dark Terror.
It's going to be loud, it's going to be loud, and I'm going to do a little how loud is section to this video.
Very scientifically.
Yes, about a metre-ish away, something like that,
yes.
I will tell you.
You ready for this?
Oh, I don't want to be... I have to say, can we be critical, slightly, of this amplifier? Yes. It is quite noisy, isn't it?
Well, it's noisy if you want it really loud.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's noisy. In fact, should we show you?
Yeah. But bear in mind, that's all
like
the preamp gain and
loud.
all of the volume, and you'd be gigging at this volume through a 412.
So it mightn't be a bad shout
but just to show them the hiss at like just under half and just there. So now and we're on 15 watts. That's loud.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a loud setting, and there's no hiss. So we were,
That's true.
We just like to show you all of the little tiny flaws and issues.
Anyway. And you can buy, noise reduction pedals that would help with that if you did need it at full volume.
Actually sounded really tight.
Yeah, and it's good sound. Yeah, I'm really impressed. And that reached a maximum of 117.8 decibels, which...
I think that's quieter than you when you screamed like a girl.
It was a bit quieter than when I screamed like a girl. 115 decibels is equivalent to sandblasting or a loud rock concert. Fortunately, we're just below the 125 decibel threshold where it states pain begins.
Pain begins.
So actually this is good. This sounds good and there's no pain.
That's correct.
And it's loud enough for a loud rock concert.
I've been Chappers.
And I've been the Captain.
This has been the Orange Dark Terror. I thoroughly recommend that you purchase it from Andertons in Guildfordshire.
I agree with everything he just said.
Bye!
Bye!